Hello YouTube and welcome back to GrunfWorks Plays KSP. This is episode 10 of our stock playthrough. And today we have a bountiful amount of science. So I'm just thinking, and also a lot of money, so I'm thinking we should actually spend a little. First things first, I really want to upgrade Runway because the one that we have is almost unusable. Also, I want to upgrade my science. I have plenty of science, 487. However, we said that we will be doing only one update, one tech node per launch. So that means that in this particular episode, I have to choose which node I will select and then run one mission. Then I will unlock another and then have another mission, just so we don't go through the tech tree too quickly. During a single episode, there could be multiple launches depending on the complexity and everything, but this time we will be doing that. Let's take a look at the contracts. By the way, guys, you are seeing this in 2x acceleration, simply to manage to crank everything with the 30 minutes, and I think I'm going to be sticking with the 30-minute format. Okay, let's see, what do we have? Rescue Tamlin from orbit of Kerbin. Whew. Well, I haven't done an orbital rescue yet. That might be viable. Let's accept that contract, shall we? Test parachute. Test heat shield. I don't know. I'm not too crazy. We're not gonna just yet go to the satellite to an equatorial orbit around Minmus. We will get there sooner rather than later, but I just don't feel it just yet. So yeah, we have two active contracts. Rescue Tamlin and test small landing gear and flight over Kerbin. So let's design the vehicle to actually do so. So we have to do a rescue craft, meaning we need 2 rescue pods because I don't want it to be an unmanned vehicle. We don't have a good satellite relay network yet, so I'm not overly crazy in terms of that. I will be doing a satellite relay network, but I think that there are missions which exist to do so. So I'm holding out a little bit to see if it will happen. I prefer playing this early days, as you know, pioneering stuff and the stuff that has been known from the space race around, 60s, and you know how it went. Great, heat shield, so double capsule, good parachutes, heat shield, decoupler, all of the standards thingies that we have. And well, Jeb was piloting the last time, so I think it's time that Val takes over. Okay, yeah, let's take on, I'm thinking we should put the fuel tank, however, I'm reluctant. I would like to put another science experiment here, and since we are so seldomly using Science Bay, I mean, a mere opportunity to get it into orbit and test, well, it's something that's worth pondering on. Right. Terrier engine, that's good enough because it has higher efficiency, especially for the orbital maneuvering. 2 batteries, I think, shall suffice, followed by 4 solar panel, which we'll put on the booster, or sorry, fuel tank. And let's put some thermometer. I mean, after all, you never know. I think I have collected all there is to collect with thermometer and mystery goo. However, you can never be too careful in terms of having extra science and collect it and return it back, because that unlocks cool technology and cool nodes. So let's see. Oh right, we have to test the landing gear as well. Yeah, that's the one, alright. Okay. Well, let's put in first stack decoupler and design our rocket, then we'll figure out where the hell shall we put it. Whether it will be on the boosting stage or initial stage or whatnot. Alright, 2 big fuel tanks. You know, guys, I have not prepared, I have not tested this. I'm playing this series as it comes. If it fails, it fails. If it blows up, it blows up. So because I think that's the point of a KSP, trial and error and all those hilarious moments when things go up in flames. Yeah. My Kerbals are anyway on respawn, so this is a lot lighter version than my Interplanetary Voyage series. By the way, if you haven't seen yet my Interplanetary Voyage series, which I was playing like in older version of KSP, do check it out. There's quite a lot of episodes, I think 260 something ish. And I'm playing with a metric crap ton of mods back there. This is actually my first stock playthrough, so you might want to give it a look. I mean, I consider it to be fun, and I've been getting positive comments regarding those when I was publishing it. Although the KSP technology might be a little bit outdated, especially on the initial series, which I think it was KSP 090, so it was even before Unity 5. Sounds like ancient history today when you come to think of it. Yeah, I've been making KSP videos for quite a long time, and I'm enjoying them. They are quite fun. Although I must say this stock thing is actually testing my limits because it has been so long since I've done anything like that. Okay, wheels. Where am I gonna put them? I'm thinking of putting them here on the, central stack. Just fold them in. I don't think they will do much apart from adding any additional weight. So, yeah, it can just sit there, I think. Right, that's about the engines, then coupling, then everything else. Okay, fuel lines. We will be doing the asparagus staging. Well, I don't know if we need it technically, but I think it's a good way to get some extra oomph and some extra fuel economy. So, yes, I mean, this is not by no means fully realistic just yet. I believe that there was one rocket in history that used asparagus staging or something, but most that use onion staging as far as I understood. And there are not that many, I mean, that even use these kind of side boosters. I mean, Shuttle used side boosters, Energia used boosters, and although those were Shuttle boosters were solid rocket boosters, while Energias were liquid fuel. Right, so let's add the launch clamps, put them down, and I'm thinking this craft should in theory be ready for launch as soon as I just fix the staging, of course. Alright, let's just quickly check. Where is... Oh, there it is. Okay. 3, 2, 1, and ignition. And off we go. Valentina launching on the first orbital rescue mission. I think it will be fun. By the way, guys, sorry for an occasional metallic sound clink. I sometimes do have a bad cough, so I just decide to spare you of the additional sound effects that are completely unnecessary. Right, burning for the apoapsis. The first set of boosters have detached. Oh, and which reminds me, we should be running the test on the... We should be running the test on this guy. Oh, yes. Come on. Run the test. Thank you. Sweet science and cash. Passing 50 kilometers. $100 kilometers, perfect. Let's add a circularization maneuver. All right. There we go. I think that should be good enough. No need to get, nail it 100 by 100, fully exact. I think this is more than good enough. So what else do we have? Beautiful. And let's burn. I've started the burn a little bit earlier because I'm expecting to ditch these boosters. Let's make a screenshot out of it, why not? There we go, and as you can see, the burn time, estimated burn time, shot up the moment I've detached those boosters, of course, because now I'm burning with a single rocket engine versus 3, which of course makes complete sense. So it will take a little bit longer, but it doesn't matter, we'll end up in the same orbit, which then should we follow up to the rescue of, I think it's Tamlin, Kerman? And one thing I also found cool with this kind of playthrough is when you rescue Kerbal, you get it as a part of the crew. How Tamlin got there would be a subject for maybe a different story and a completely different episode. But yeah, we'll get to that story when we'll jump from that bridge when we come to it. So, alright, there we go. We are good enough. So now let's see. I'm just trying to zoom out. Oh, and there is our capsule. So that's Tamlin's pod. Let's set it as a target. And we have to do another rendezvous. We did it 2 episodes ago, but we were doing it in low Kerbin Orbit and with the purpose of just rendezvousing. This time we are actually doing a rendezvous with a purpose. So, ascending node, we first have to match the inclination. So I'm pushing down until I get the ascending node close to 0. It doesn't need to be like 0, 0, that would be like an ideal, but also 0.1 would be acceptable. And I'm just trying to figure out if I can get it to 0.0, but doesn't seem like it. Doesn't seem likely. Okay, so 434 meters per second, burn coming up in 15 minutes. I have to be really careful with the time acceleration because I'm no longer using the Kerbal alarm clock, which, if you have seen my previous series, it was reminding me quite a lot. Because I would always forget, skip, and then burn like there's no tomorrow. Oh, and well, if you go out, the ship starts spinning, so don't go out, please. .434 meters per second, and waiting for another 13 minutes. The burn should be 22 seconds, and I think we have enough fuel to pull it off, so I will use the 22 seconds as a guideline. There we go, and the burn is coming in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Just burning to make sure that we burn as accurately as possible here. Okay, a little bit more. Oh, there we go. I overdid it a little, but I think we'll be fine. Okay, so now let's do the intercept. We have to end up in the same point in space as Tamlin, so I'm trying to eyeball. I think I'm going to go somewhere along this axis, yeah. So I'm pushing my apoapsis until we meet somewhere. So just a later stage. Oh, and the orange markers say we will be bumping into each other, or not bumping, but we will have a close rendezvous. So let me just pull a little bit on down on the delta V to see if I can do it a little bit more efficiently. Doesn't seem like it, so maybe I'll just... Okay, I'll keep this one. Every little ounce of delta V that you can save is handy and helpful. So 6 minutes and 50 seconds, and the node will be 34-second burn. I don't believe this. I don't buy this because I think I don't have enough fuel in this stage for the full burn. So I will be starting a lot earlier. I'm thinking around 1 minute-ish mark, because Terrier has much lower thrust. So the total burn, if when I stage, will be significantly increased when I switch to the Terrier engine. So let's see how that should be working. One minute 25. Okay, getting ready to burn. And let's burn. See, so a little bit more than halfway through the burn we switch, and look at that. Burn is another 22 seconds, so I think we made a good judgment call around that. Note that these things don't need to be perfect, as long as they're good enough-ish. Okay, oops. Right, so I think I'm gonna reduce the thrust and just gently make sure that I can even delete the maneuver node, and let's see if we get an encounter. I'm removing maneuver node because I like to plan it live rather than... Okay, let's see, a little bit more, and we are... Yeah, there we go. Looks like a good enough encounter, I would say. And we still have a decent amount of fuel, which is good. Right, now the point is that we will be rendezvousing, which means we will end up at the same point in space. However, we will not be going at the same speed, because I think we need to accelerate significantly, otherwise this other capsule would just whiz by past us at an incredible rate, and if we had a very good rendezvous, it would probably hit us and destroy us both. So we need to match speeds with that capsule at the moment where we rendezvous. However, I don't do it in one big chunk, but I will do it more in incremental chunks. And if you can see, I have switched to target. So my relative target speed is decreasing, and my heading on the nav ball is relative to the target. So, okay. Yeah, so switching to target mode is actually reversed, so I need to put the thrust limiter to max, and then I will be putting like this, because I have to decrease my speed relative to the target, or increase my speed relative to the orbit. So it's very important that you use target here. And you can see separation will be 6 kilometers and our relative speed will be 442 meters per second. So it's as if we were standing still and the other capsule whizzed by at 440 meters per second, which would be around 1.2 Mach. So pretty fast. Not the average speed of your bus or something. So let's decrease that slowly. And as you can see, I'm pushing the rendezvous point further apart from our current position, but the separation is being decreased because we are making it more and more accurate. And T minus 10 minutes means that in 10 minutes we should be doing the rendezvous. So ideally, you don't want to slow off too quickly, because if you slow off too quickly, it will take a long time and there's a good chance you will miss the target. So my advice is, until you get to the 5 kilometer range, have your relative speed around 50 meters per second. I'm holding it to 100 because we are still too far off. We have 11 minutes, and I know that in an 11 minutes I can shave all these 200 meters per second. Now, okay, I have increased a little bit the separation because I wasn't being so accurate. And as you can see, I'm choosing my nav ball position so that I'm pushing the yellow retrograde marker onto the pink retrograde marker, which is effectively reducing the separation. So our relative speed is 136. So as you can see, we are decreasing our speed as we are coming closer. Oh, and separation would be 0.4. 0.5 and relative speed 95. I think I'm gonna time accelerate a little bit. I'm just trying to reduce further separation or keep the same amount of separation, just reduce a little bit relative speed. Okay, we have another 10 minutes to the encounter. And our speed is 78 meters per second. So I think that's good enough. So I'm thinking pretty soon I'm just gonna kick a little bit time warp and then I'm gonna switch to the capsule view. There we go. 18 kilometers out and we are going 78 meters per second. I say that's good enough. Let's just kick in the time acceleration a little bit until it comes to the 10 kilometer range. There we go. Then we will reduce the velocity a little bit. Okay, putting it to 35. So rather than one big, suicide burn, it's better to do this in small incremental steps because it's also easier for you to control and define refinements. It does take a little bit more of the fuel. So if you're tight with fuel, you might want to do a suicide burn, but in this case, I don't find it really necessary. Okay, at 1 kilometer, my speed is between 10 and 20. We're headed straight for it, and I'll try to pull in as close as possible. So, okay, around 300 meters, I will be decreasing my velocity to 5-ish. There we go. We're still closing out quite fast. So 4.2 meters per second, that's very good. $150 meters and closing. We have to remind ourselves this is a small capsule, so we are already within the distance where we could actually just take Tamlin and fly over, but I like to make a cool screenshot, when we get really up close and personal and when we see the capsule. That is what they teach you at KSP Masterclass. $80 meters. I think I'm gonna get it quite close-ish. The point is that I can see it quite nicely. 50 meters, and I think already we can see the outline of the capsule. We don't see it fully because it's a little bit dark, but 30 meters, now we're getting really close. I'm just doing tiny adjustments to stop when it gets really close, and then we will be transferring Tamlin and going back for the return. I think we can stop now. Perfect. Okay, let's switch out of the target view. Oh, and the capsule is so close. I had no idea. Haha. 20 meters. Well, that's really close. Okay. Orbit normal. Because, we want to take a selfie and it looks cool. Screenshot. It's a little bit too dark for a screenshot. I would prefer another one. I'll try another thing. I don't think it will work for the thumbnail of the episode. Tamlin spot. I cannot rotate it. Oh boy. No operational SAS modules, and so Tamlin is clearly not a pilot. Let's get out with her. Oh, this will be a cool screenshot though. Come on. Sit on your capsule and a big selfie. Nice. Smile. Hi Tamlin. We have come to rescue you. Whether we will need a rescue ourselves remains to be seen in the following 6 to 10 minutes. Okay. There we go. Beautiful. Grab and just board the capsule. Thank you very much. Oh, and while I'm here, I don't know if I can do science. Let's see. Oh, nice. What else do we got? Crew report that we already have. Maybe the EVA report we could do. Log temperature. Nothing really that crazy. Val, EVA. Ooh, shoot. It starts spinning again. Val, get in back. Tamlin, you go out and do the EVA, please, will you? I know you just came, but okay. We didn't need the EVA. Right. That means there's only one thing left to do. Make a rescue, so finish up the rescue and go back home. Point the rocket orbit retrograde and press the booster, and then realize that you need to increase your thrust limiter. Because otherwise that might be a little bit longer burn than expected. And I didn't plan to go for a coffee right now, so while it burns. Let's see. Decreasing our periapses, and we are burning through the fuel, so fuel economy, I was slightly concerned. But I guess we will have enough. Okay, 27 kilometer periapses usually makes for a fine descent. So, Val and Tamlin, you're going home. Right. So, let us press the time accelerator a little bit. After all, saying bye to the Tamlin spot. We have no idea how you ended up there. I'm pretty sure Tamlin will have interesting stories to tell us. And let's come in for the landing now, shall we? Alright. Orient the craft, orbit retrograde. I will use the remaining fuel to decelerate because we are picking up on orbital speed. And I mean, these things are gonna blow up in the atmosphere anyway, so we might as well use the fuel to make our descent simpler. Or simpler. It's a different word. I would say just less velocity to burn off, probably. Okay, stage. Bye-bye. Oh, I realize I have mystery goose that I haven't used. Okay, let us just angle the capsule ever so slightly in case something comes back to hit us, which is always a risk. But the capsule has a different profile. Oh, and it blew up in the atmosphere. Good thing that we brought that ablator, right? Oh, it's getting hot. However, we have plenty of ablator and we are descending at a good pace. Why is this sun flickering? I wonder. Oh, is it because... Oh, it's a moon... It's a partial solar eclipse. Huh. Go figure. Alright. Oh, we have some events. Which ones are that? Tamlin is part of the space crew, world's first milestones, and all that yada yada yada. Wonderful. We are decreasing and we are already within the velocity parameters to kick in the parachute. I'm just gonna wait until we get slightly lower because there's really not a point to fire off the parachutes just yet. Let's see if there's some more science to be had. Okay, nope, then kick the parachutes. Anybody up for the EVA? Nah, I didn't think so. Okay. Right, let's turn this so I can see the capsule. We are descending at quite a significant pace, although I think the chutes will be kicking in right now, yes. And then I'll need to kick in the time acceleration, otherwise descending at this sedate pace would bring me to the utter edge of madness. Right, so... By the way, guys, we're coming up to the end of the episode after we reclaim the ship. If you like the episode, hit subscribe, comment if you have any suggestions, and as of course, visit us on Facebook, Twitter, and whatnot, and join Discord, support on Patreon, all that wonderful stuff. Right. Checking up final bits of the science, and I think we will be recovering the vessel. And we got 40 science, some prestige, and some funds. Beautiful. But that will be it for this episode. Once again, thank you very much for watching. This is GrunfWorks signing off.